guys? Let me just adjust you ever so slightly. What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. It is Tuesday, so we're going through the hottest days of the year right now, or like since 1976 or whatever the date was. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody is keeping hydrated, keeping cool as can be, keeping shaded if you're like me and you've got vitiligo or you've got just pale skin or ginger red hair. Stay shaded because we gonna burn, you know what I'm saying? It's gotten so bad, my vitiligo, that factor 50 isn't even stopping me from burning. So quick nip to the doctors about that one. I think he's probably going to tell me to stay covered, which in this heat is absolutely ridiculous. There should be some kind of suntan lotion or something made for people with vitiligo that don't have any skin tone left. As you can see, my freckles are going. If anybody wants like a separate video on vitiligo, I did do one about tattoos and vitiligo. It was like my best watched video ages ago. Go click on that one and rewatch it. It's got quite a lot of views, to be fair. But if anybody wants like an update, because that video is quite old now, I think that video was like 2015 or something. If anybody wants an update on my vitiligo, I'm happy to do another video and just talk about what it is and stuff like that. So yeah. But I've had the craziest week. It's been an epic week. I've seen 3 shows since last Wednesday, and it's Tuesday. So in 6 days I've seen 3 shows, which is probably my record to date. 3 shows is probably, yeah, I've never seen that many shows in such quick succession before. So I was just going to give him a little review and a little rundown and see if the community out there, whoever watches my videos, fancy seeing things while they're available, then so be it. So the first one we saw last Wednesday was Waitress. I am a little bit late to the game. I realised that. I apologise. It was in the West End for a while. And then it's been touring for so long that we're at near the end of the tour. So I went in Brighton last Wednesday. It was my Christmas present from December, so nothing due to COVID, just it was Christmas present. It was amazing. It was so good. The only thing that let it down was I was sat next to some idiot who had no idea about theatre etiquette, personal space, personal hygiene. He was just the worst person to sit next to. He immediately sat down and like opened his legs wide and slouched. So he basically used up half of my legroom on my seat. So as I sat down, I did exactly the same thing and knocked his leg out the way. Now I'm all for people having space, and your seat is your seat and my seat is my seat, but don't cross into my area. It's hot, we're all hot, we all need our own space. So don't be bumping your leg over to my room, because that's just cheeky. And then after that, I thought it would be fine, but then he's shuffling and he's moving. And if you go to these old theatres, these old like listed buildings, when you move, the whole row of seats moved. So of course we're jogging backwards and forwards because he can't get comfortable. Okay, you know, okay, there's a bit of shuffling involved when you're sitting down for such a long period of time, but keep it to a minimum. And then there was the audible noise coming out of him. Yes, in parts the show is very funny, but he was so over exaggerating. Yes, Luna, that it wasn't right. It wasn't right, and it was becoming disruptive, so much so that the ushers got called and basically kept an eye on him until the interval when me and Becky moved seats. I could not sit next to him anymore. And we sat like a few rows more in the front and the aisle, and we were on our own, and it was just perfect. So I still enjoyed the show, but I feel like the first half would have been less blurry if I hadn't have had this prat sitting next to me. But anyway, if you don't know about Waitress, these 3 girls work in some kind of diner or cafe or a pie shop. We obviously call it in England, we call it a tart or a cake. They call it a pie. I'll give you a rundown of the cast. We saw them at the stage door. Chelsea Halfpenny, who is obviously related to Jill Halfpenny. David Hunter, who was fabulous. Wendy Mae Brown. And then Evelyn Hoskins was Dawn. And then George Crawford was Ogie. And then just like a whole mound of other people. So the 3 girls on the front are best friends. They work together. So the premise is this lady in the middle right here, she has what she calls a one-night stand with her husband, and gets pregnant. Spoiler alert. And it's kind of just about how she doesn't want the baby. It's an unexpected pregnancy, but just how about she's going to alter her life. The marriage is a little bit abusive, and she's not in love anymore, so she wants to pack up and leave the marriage. But also at the same time, she creates pies for the shop every single day and bakes them from fresh, and wants to enter a pie competition but needs the money, so starts saving all her tips, so the husband doesn't know, in things like the cushions in the sofa and her drawers and inside tights and things like that, to pay for the trip to the pie show, the pie competition. And then he finds all of her tips and takes them, so she doesn't end up going. But she has the baby. She ends up telling him that she doesn't want to be with him anymore. The affair that she started with her gynecologist ends as well. And it turns out that the owner of the pie shop passes away and leaves her the shop. So all's well that ends well, basically. But it's quite a few life lessons in there. From someone that wasn't in an abusive marriage at all, but definitely unhappy. You definitely just have to leave, because you only get one life. And while it sucks at the time, look at me now. I rent my own 2-bed maisonette with my partner and my daughter. We go and see shows when I want to, because I can, and it's my passion, my hobby, my love. So if anybody's in a similar position, unhappy relationship, unhappy marriage, unhappy job, there are others out there for you. It's not science. Just pack up your shit and go. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the programme for the second show that we saw on Thursday, because we saw it first in January 2020, just before COVID hit. And that was when the programme was bought. The programme is seemingly in another house. But it was Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins! I've seen it 2020. We went March this year, just to take my daughter for a night out, and then we went July as well. What can you say about Mary Poppins? What can't you say about Mary Poppins? The person who plays Mary Poppins, her name is Zizi Strallen, is absolutely fan-flippintastic. Fan-flippintastic. She just embodies Mary Poppins. I mean, everyone's going to know the Julie Andrews version, and that's obviously where we all know Mary Poppins from, but she brings her own kind of pizzazz, if you like. She's singing live, obviously 8 shows a week. She's dancing. The guy who plays Bert, the name escapes me because I don't have the programme. But he's sort of, not a standby, but he's sort of a stand-in. So the original guy who plays Bert has gone for 3 or 4 months, I believe, to Chichester, and he's doing something there. So this guy's stepping in for quite a long run, 12 to 14 weeks, I think it is. And he is also amazing. You would not know, obviously that's the whole point, you wouldn't know that he wasn't the original as it was. But he was epic. He was amazing. I thought he was fantastic. The only person I hadn't seen before was Bert. And I was amazed by him. It's a fantastic show. My daughter's 5. She easily sits through it with no worries, no upheaval, no uproar. We take her to the toilet before the show starts, and she's generally, depending on how much she consumes during the show, generally fine until we get home. But obviously there's an interval if you want to take your little kiddies. It's fantastic. So we took my mum for her birthday. We paid for her ticket. We took her to Wagamama's for a little bit of chow down before the show. Had a couple of drinks. Brilliant night, especially for like a family, if you can afford it. I realise times are hard, but there are cheap tickets out there for you. There are £20 tickets, and believe me when I tell you, it doesn't really matter where you sit in this theatre, you will be able to get a good view, providing it's not like restricted with bars and stuff in front of your face. You will get a good view. It's that kind of theatre where it's quite open, and it's quite staggered as well. So even if you've got a tall person in front of you, chances are, because I'm a short ass, you should be able to see over the top. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Mary Poppins, fab. Again, Waitress, a solid 9.5. A solid 9.5. And then last night, my mum's birthday present from me and Becky was Anything Goes. Now, this is a very different kind of show, especially from the last two that I just talked about. Mary Poppins, very much a family show. Waitress, I think, makes a fantastic date night. Definitely not kid friendly, because there's a little bit of shit and a little bit of swearing and a little bit of, you know, naughtiness, shall we say. This one, again, definitely not a kiddie one. I think they'd get a bit bored. There's quite a lot of dialogue. There's quite a bit of kind of ballroom dancing kind of thing, which is not as stimulating to watch as maybe Mary Poppins or Tap that they had at the end of the first half. There's a big tap routine, which is way more exciting to watch than a bit of ballroom, in my opinion. But the cast for this bad boy was mind-blowing. Okay, let me read it out to you. Kerry Ellis. Now, if you don't know Kerry Ellis, why? Why don't you know Kerry Ellis? You should know Kerry Ellis. Like, who? Anyway, she's like an absolute goddess to me. She is my leading lady in the West End. Okay, she, whatever she goes in, whatever she sings, whatever she touches, literally turns to gold, in my opinion. Obviously, these are all my opinions. You might know her from We Will Rock You. You might know her from Wicked. She was in Wicked for a while. My Fair Lady, maybe you might have seen her understudy for Marty McCutcheon, I think it was. She's done a lot with Queen. She's done a fair bit of solo stuff. What else has she been in? I feel like I'm missing something major. Oliver, she played Nancy. Alice in Wonderland. She's done so much. On Broadway as well. And she played the main part last night. She played a woman called Reno. And she was fantastic. I didn't realise she could dance like that. Like, the roles that I've seen her in, We Will Rock You, not a lot of dancing. Wicked, definitely not a lot of dancing. Oliver, a little bit of dancing, but not the same as this. This is like top tier dancing. This was like a little bit of ballroom and then a massive tap sequence, which you can watch on YouTube. Just type in Anything Goes and Kerry Ellis will come up. She's performed it already at the Oliviers, I believe. Dennis Lawson, I recognise him. I recognised him last night, but I've seen a lot of things that he's been in, especially TV, but I can't pinpoint him. Bleak House, if anybody watches that, he was in that. I can't remember what I've seen him in, but I definitely recognise him. He was absolutely hilarious. So he basically played like a gangster, but not the number one gangster, like number 13. So he was like a bit of a cheap rate gangster, not very good, not very scary, that kind of thing. A bit more comical gangster than, you know, big gangster. Her part was basically a showgirl of sorts on a cruise liner. That's where it's set aboard a ship. We also had Simon Callow. Simon Callow, massively famous man. Simon Callow was in, I best know him from Four Weddings and a Funeral, where he plays the elderly gentleman that just is the life and soul of the party. That's where I recognise him from, but his credits are just insane. And yes, while he is getting older, he had as much energy in that cast as any of the youngsters. He was just flipping amazing. And then last, again, West End royalty, Bonnie Langford. Bonnie Langford is Zizi Straland's aunt. So they're both treading the boards in the West End at the same time. Insane. Insane. Me and my auntie can't even get in the same county at the same time, let alone in two massively popular shows at the same time. Bonnie Langford, again, is just been in so many things. I saw her in 9 till 5, where she played opposite Brian Conley. And she was so funny. She played like a secretary and was trying to sort of woo him, but he had no idea. So that's your four people really that were sort of headliners. They're the 4 people on the poster. But the other main guy was this guy, Samuel Edwards. He played Billy Crocker. He was brilliant. He had a very good voice. And then there was like a host of so many people. There were sailors. I mean, this program goes on and this program goes on and on with just people. There were so many people on board this boat doing the routines, doing the dancing, doing the singing. It was just, as you can see right there, so many people. There's Bonnie Langford, brilliant. Who else have we got on here? Yeah, so there's the gangster, there's Kerry Ellis looking stunning. She is just, oh, to die for. She is just beautiful. I didn't get to look at the programme last night, so I don't know what other photos there are. So there's another one. These are all press shoots inside the programme. So he loves her, and then he kind of stows away on the ship. And then there's obviously Simon Callow. He's very funny. Very, very funny. This routine here was absolutely hilarious to watch. Had a little bit of like ad-libbing vibe to it, which I love, especially when you go and see Hairspray and you watch Michael Ball as Edna Turnblad. The laughs that they have. There was merch galore right here, t-shirts if that's your vibe. There is a little dog, but he's not real in the show. There was a nice little diary. It was £12. Thought that was a bit steep. Pen was a £5, little tote bag, a key ring, a mug. Yeah, there's always merch available at these shows. A couple of more press shoots. This is the massive tap number that I was talking about. Everybody involved. A couple of more press shoots. This is her looking fire. Literally looking fire. Just a big show number here. It's quite the spectacle to watch, and because I've never been to the Barbican before, which is where this is, it's a lovely venue. It opened in 1986, I believe, so not even that old. It's about 30 years, give or take. So there was aircon. So on the hottest day of the year, I was in the best place possible. It was airconned. It was nice and cool. At one point, it got a little bit too cold, so I was grateful to be back outside in the heat. Massive show numbers, massive show tunes. You will recognise the song Anything Goes. It's quite a popular song. It's quite famous. It's up for a limited run. I don't have the dates. I think it's only 12 weeks. And I think this is week 2, I believe. It's done a massive tour as well. It went to Liverpool, I believe. I think it went to Belfast. I think it went to possibly Manchester, and then ends in London with this run, and then that's it. Like it will just finish. So if you have the means and you want a night out, again, these are doing 50% off tickets, so you can get a ticket. My ticket was £25, and I had the best view. It was along the side, but I was sort of looking off right a little bit, and I could see everything. There was no people in my way. Just a gorgeous place. However, the Barbican is very confusing because it's a little bit like a labyrinth. So get there early, figure the place out. There was a beautiful kitchen there called the Barbican Kitchen. We had a lovely sandwich. Mum had a salad. We had a couple of drinks. Gorgeous place if you need a little pre-show food. A nice bar, which wasn't too steep considering what we had. A large Sauvignon Blanc, a Diet Coke, and double shot of Malibu, and then mine was just a lemonade. Came to £17. I don't believe that's that expensive for a theatre. I might be wrong. Didn't really care. It was a birthday night out. So there you have it. If you want to go get tickets, I get my tickets from Today Tix. There is an app. It's just TODAYTIX, and they are very, very good. When we had tickets for Mary Poppins and my little one got COVID, we rang 2 days before the show and they moved it a week later, and they were brilliant. As long as you give them more than 48 hours notice from your show date, they will help you. They will accommodate. Yesterday the trains were a bit fuffled because of the weather, but we still managed to get there, and we got home quite easily considering there was supposed to be this big hoo-ha. So if you can, go and support theatres at the moment. They lost a lot of money during COVID. They lost a lot of business. Obviously actors and people like that weren't getting paid, weren't bringing in a wage. That's why people like Kerry Ellis were doing their own thing, releasing songs, putting videos on YouTube, just keeping busy basically. So if you can go and support the arts, absolutely go do so. If you can afford a little bit of merch as well, grab yourself a programme. I think this was only £6, and you've seen the photos. They're fantastic. Not only that, a great deal about the writers, the story, the people inside the show. Anything Goes, all about there. And then obviously the writer, just anything you can go see, even if it's a touring production, go see it. If you can and you want to, go to the stage door, say hi, get them to have a little squiggle in your programme like these two gorgeous ladies did. Tell them they did an amazing job. Tell them you appreciate what they're doing. Tell them you appreciate them working their butts off on stage in this gorgeous heat that we're having. Just go do it. Just life's too short. You're going to miss these amazing productions. You're going to miss them because time just goes so quickly in the West End that one day a show will open, the next day it will close and something else will come. So there you have it. There's my reviews. Anything goes. It's different. It's very, very different to what I'm used to. So I would give it a solid 8.5. I definitely think I enjoyed Mary Poppins and Waitress a little bit more. But still, Anything Goes is fabulous. It's a great night out and very sort of you want to get up and dance kind of vibe. Anyway, I've got to do some online training for my new job as we were closed yesterday and today. I'm back in tomorrow and Thursday, and then that's it. 6 weeks off for my summer holiday because I work in a school. So hopefully a few more videos to come. A holiday as well, so I might do something on holiday. Yeah, stay tuned. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and you want to know more. If you want any reviews on any shows, I've seen quite a few. I haven't reviewed Dear Evan Hansen, but I did see that about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We're seeing Beauty and the Beast next week. Been very fortunate in July to see a lot of shows. So if you want a video about Beauty and the Beast as well, just comment in the comment section. That's what it is. And let me know. Again, if you want a video about vitiligo or anything like that, just hit me up and I will do one. Stay safe, stay hydrated, stay cool. Speak to you soon.